Hello, welcome to the second episode of the Grand Cosmic Story. This is going to be a huge eye-opener.
Are you curious about the world around you? Do you wonder what else is out there beyond our world? Dr. Latha Christie, a scientist and an author, will take you on a journey through the universe. Join her in exploring the universe through her web series, The Grand Cosmic Story. Stay tuned to find out what today's episode is all about.
This watch is reminding me that I have only 15 minutes of time with you. But isn't it strange that this watch cannot tell me how much time I have with this world? Yes, time is mysterious. It is elusive. It is invisible. But it seems to be the most powerful force in the universe, carrying us from birth to death. What exactly is time? Did time have a start? Was there a t=0 moment for the universe? I love fairy stories a lot. How do they start? They start in time. There was a time when the story did not exist. But it's a mystery that our exceedingly beautiful and mysterious universe did not start in time, but with time. Come on, let's get into our cosmic story. According to Newton, time flowed with perfect uniformity forever without being affected by anything. Assuming space and time to be absolute, he arrived at his three laws of motion. But in the year 1905, Albert Einstein completely transformed this understanding of time and said time was not absolute but relative to the frame of reference. Using his special theory of relativity, he argued that time can appear to move faster or slower to us relative to others in a different part of space-time, breaking the notion that time followed a universal tick-tock rhythm. This means that an astronaut on the International Space Station gets to age just a tiny bit slower than people on Earth. This is revolutionary. How I wish to hang out on the space station. I can age slower than you. Most of you, like me, feel that you're constantly running out of time. Time seems to move forward relentlessly through instants strung out continuously on a line in a unidirectional way. While in the dimensions of space you can move forward and backward, up and down, right and left, time has only one dimension, which means you always move forward and never in reverse. If you apply backward time to your life, you will grow younger and you would end up like a tiny baby in your parents' hands. But that's not possible. Why does time always move forward? Why it is irreversible? This is one of the major unsolved problems in physics. British astrophysicist Sir Arthur Eddington in 1927 was the first person to coin the phrase arrow of time. Imagine you're cracking an egg and making an omelette, but it has splashed on the floor. Now try to reassemble the egg by throwing the yolk and the white back into the broken shell. Breaking the egg only took for you a few seconds. Try to do it in reverse. It's not possible. This sounds ridiculous, isn't it? Almost all processes observed in the universe have this directionality. Ice cubes melt into a puddle of water, but a puddle of water will never spontaneously turn into a block of ice. Why don't things happen in reverse at all? This sounds like a good question. The answer comes from the second law of thermodynamics that states that the whole universe progresses from order to disorder. In other words, entropy or the state of disorder always increases. If you got to go back to the birth of the universe, down to the atomic realm, at some point in the distant past, the universe was in a low entropy state, and as time progressed, entropy increased. Entropy always shows a net increase with the passage of time. If you put ice cubes into a glass of water and let them melt, the entropy inside the glass goes up. This explains why cream easily mixes into coffee but does not unmix, why living creatures decay and die, and why Humpty Dumpty will not spontaneously reassemble after his fateful fall. This shows that nature seems to prefer the unidirectionality of movement from order to disorder corresponding to the unidirectionality of time. While nature seems to prefer disorder, the laws of physics like Newton's 3 laws of motion work very well if time is defined as running backward or running forward. Equations that determine the acceleration of a rocket or that of a billiard ball all work just as well with time flowing backward and forward. If an egg can break, then Newton's law will say it can unbreak. This is obviously wrong. But nearly every theory that physicists have discovered since Newton faces the same problem. The laws of physics simply do not care whether time runs forward or time runs backward. They do not differentiate between past and future. But things in the natural world are different. We won't mix yesterday with tomorrow. We get older but never younger. Using this time reversal property of the laws of physics, a few scientists have postulated various cyclic models of the universe. In one of the models, the universe expanded 5 seconds before the Big Bang at the same pace as it did 5 seconds after the Big Bang. While the rate of expansion was accelerating before the Big Bang, it was decelerating after the Big Bang. In short, Big Bang may not be the origin of the universe, but simply a violent transition from acceleration to deceleration. The pre-Big Bang universe is just a mirror image of the post-Big Bang one. And if so, we are living in an oscillating universe. Such an oscillating universe undergoes an endless sequence of cycles in which a presently expanding universe contracts into a big crunch and re-emerges in an expanding Big Bang with trillions of years of evolution in between. This expansion, contraction, expansion pattern keeps repeating with its 4 components: expansion, turnaround, crunch, and bounce. The question is, are we living in an oscillating universe or a universe with a one-time beginning of space and time? Is Big Bang the origin of the universe or simply the outcome of a pre-existing state? Did time have a one-time start or was there a time before the Big Bang? Many cosmologists are of the opinion that the Big Bang model, where time had a one-time start, gives a better explanation than the oscillating universe model. Why? There are 4 reasons. The first reason is that the Big Bang model presents overwhelming evidence. The second reason is that the oscillating universe model violates the second law of thermodynamics. This is because if the big crunch were to happen, a process that is exactly opposite of an expanding universe will have to take place. In other words, there should be a decrease in entropy, violating the second law of thermodynamics. The third reason is that there are no known laws of physics that would cause a collapsing universe to bounce back to a new expansion. The fourth one is that time cannot extend back indefinitely. In the 1960s, this was proved by the Penrose-Hawking singularity theorem, and so an oscillating universe cannot go indefinitely to the past but should have a one-time beginning at some point. However, Stephen Hawking along with James Hartle put forward an interesting and a fascinating no-boundary proposal that got rid of time itself. As per the proposal, at a point that was extremely near to the beginning of the universe, time gave way to space such that at first there were only 3 dimensions of space and no time. However, this proposal is considered untenable and ambiguous since imaginary numbers are used for the time variable and the mathematics involves the square root of negative numbers. Though these ideas are beautiful and provocative, they cannot get rid of the beginning of the forward pointing arrow of time. So we can conclude that time had a one-time start. If time had a beginning, now who started the time? By definition, a cause precedes its effect. A glass cannot fall to the ground and shatter unless someone drops it. Uncovering this problem gives us a powerful hint that the answer must lie outside the universe and not within the universe. An eternal, transcendent being who exists outside of space and time must have caused our universe and must have caused time to function in this special unidirectional manner.
He has made everything beautiful in its time. He has also set eternity in the human heart, yet no one can fathom what God has done from beginning to end.
Time is unidirectional, and everything in our life has been beautifully planned by the intelligent designer. Let us not miss the special moments in our life.